Hey, Michelle. Let me know if you can hear me and see the picture, or hear the song and see the picture. You must have premium. Hey, Spanky. Let me know if you can see me or hear me. I mean, see the screen. Thank you. All right. James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is April 8th, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I opened up the gates and let everyone that I've put behind bars for 4 or 5 years out. So this could be a really ugly session over here. All right, I want everybody to know I guess we only had 0.5%, should be closer to 14% according to national statistics, but all the psychopaths and sociopaths and all the pasts have been let go because everyone deserves a second chance, right? So I want to let y'all know if there's a bunch of crazy stuff going on, I'll catch it and we'll take care of it. But we did spring everyone out of jail today. And I'm guessing YouTube loves this channel so much, those are going to be the people that get that are told that we're going live. All right, let's do this thing. First, we're going to start out with volcanoes. We've got a long way to go. Got some really crazy flood pictures coming out of the central, Kentucky and Tennessee and other parts of the Central Plains. But we're going to start out with volcanoes. Active volcanoes. And if anyone wants to guess, they're welcome to. I don't remember what number we were at last time. I think it was around 78 active volcanoes. I'm kind of looking around to see how it looks. And it's really hard to tell. Hey, Darlene. In case you didn't hear me, I've let everyone out of jail. All 380 people. 77 is probably a good guess. Let me get to counting. And I'm not going to come up with a number. I'm going to let y'all do it. $50 right there, guys. 50. $60. 70. 80. 1, 82, 83, 84. It's an all-time high. Maybe it's because CERN has been on all day. That by far is an all-time crushing high. And a lot of that has to do with this action right here, where Zealandia is really active there. And Papua New Guinea is really active there. Much more active than we usually see those two areas. So that's going to be the uptick right in there, obviously. And in here, obviously. 84 volcanoes erupting. That is going to be the most that we've ever seen. I believe 81 or 82 was the all-time high. Well, when I say all-time high, all I can speak of is for about the last 10 years. So we'll say the all-time high of the last 10 years. But we're getting up there. Many people think that we'll spring past the 100 volcano mark and have hundreds of volcanoes erupting at one time. And I will show you there's thousands of what they call active volcanoes that have all gone off in the last 10,000 years. Maybe tens of thousands, but definitely thousands. So that's a big number, big number. All right, hey, Miss Lois. All right, we had this is heading over to Earthquakes Canada, the Canadian government. We all know that, well, they're working today. It's a Wednesday, so we caught them working. There's only been one earthquake in all of Canada, according to their earthquake service. Remember, they don't share this information with anyone. So if we pick it up, it's because we have geophones picking it up here in Alaska or offshore somewhere here. But they've had a 3.9, and this is going to be on top of a volcano. So a 3.9, they don't have a depth for it. They give it a default depth of 10 kilometers. And they don't even have any small ones over in the salt mines. I zoomed in earlier to check. Nothing else has gone off. Just this one larger 3.9. Moving our way along. We had a 5.3 Central Ridge here. This is obviously where Taiwan, and I'll show you what I mean. The plates don't connect in Taiwan. We've talked about how the plate ends right there and picks up right there, and right in between it, we had a 5.4. Got a 5.1 over here. It's going to be in Indonesia. I believe those are the only decent-sized quakes, and none of them are too large. I regularly wouldn't cover those individually. All right, when we add the 4.0, you can see how busy we have been, especially around Indonesia here and up to Japan. Surprisingly, nothing up here on the Russian peninsula that's got so many volcanoes erupting. Got a little magma movement here on Zealandia, on the northern plate boundary, around Indonesia. We discussed that. And then where we had that swarm the other day in Burma, Myanmar, we've got a 4.3. Jumping over to the U.S., I don't think we might have caught that one. Not on a plate boundary. Really strange place for this one to pop off. A 5.2. Looks like a 5.0 here, Chile. This is the Peruvian-Chilean wedge. It's a volcanic park with over 20,000 active volcanoes. So we're expecting more movement than we're seeing there. Everything in yellow, these volcanoes in yellow, they're all volcanoes that they say are currently awakening. I.e., they're seeing gases like methane, PM 2.5, etc., being expelled from these, and they believe that they're awakening, soon to go off. It's all of Central America from Mexico City down to Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, all the magma movement there. And we also have an area here, and this is going to be, again, where we have I believe, yep, see how the plates just kind of all screw up here, and we've got one good plate hitting this one, and then this is, everything in black is, well, just a dream. So I wouldn't say that this one's really strange out here. You can see that Looks like there wants to be a plate boundary here, but we don't have one even in black. So kind of strange, really. Kind of strange. For shizzle. Let me get that a little bit larger. We're going to turn them all on now, ladies and gentlemen. And see, we've had very little action up in Alaska, unless it's showing up over there. Very little. This is a fracking earthquake. Very little action. There's that 3.9 coming in. So we did pick that up. It's right on the border there. So we had a ton of action, obviously, in Central America. We've got a ton of volcanoes going off there, and all that methane and PM 2.5 is headed right into the Central Plains. Now, y'all think that there's flooding's the main problem there? Well, we have more fires there than I've ever seen at this time of year. And we did make this call about a month ago. We said that the West Coast is not going to burn this year. It's going to be the Central Plains. Now, we're going to see if that holds true, but it does today, as you will see from the satellite imagery. All right, all around Haiti, where we had that big quake that, well, the Clintons made billions on, and we lost 350,000 people. And Dominican Republic, which is part of the same island. This is going to be Puerto Rico, definitely a volcanic island. And then all the way through, it's going to be Venezuela, Colombia, Peru here. Then we're going down into the wedge that I talked about, which is the volcanic park. And there's going to be tons of magma moving around there, and only one volcano in yellow awakening here. If I turn them all on, and they're not going to show you everything, they're only going to show you, these are all the active volcanoes. The ones in green are the ones that have erupted in the last 10,000 years. The ones in black are the ones that have erupted in the last 15,000 years or less. The ones in green, 10, the ones in black, 15, and they take them off after that. So this only makes up a small portion of the volcanoes, and these are only volcanoes that broken the sea level. Every one of these is an island, okay? Every single one of these is an island. So if you see a volcano here, it's not an underwater volcano. It will have broken the surface of our sea. I'm going to turn these off and go back to unrest. There's one little earthquake. Well, I guess, I don't know if there is or not. I don't think there is. It's Michael volcano sitting up, down by itself there. And then we have Heard volcano sitting down here in the Indian Ocean by itself. We got two aircraft carriers right in here. Look at the Aegean Sea. Wow. And we talked about how we would expect to see an uptick there before the end of times, which we might be getting closer and closer to. Seems like things are starting to slow down, but you just never know. China just got 105% tariffs put on it by the White House. You know, they don't take kindly. It's going to ruin their economy because we're their biggest consumer. So 105% tariffs is a killer. You can see this is the Aegean Sea, and we think that, according to the Bible, the biggest earthquake shakes the entire globe, and there's a tsunami that wipes out all these countries and all these armies that are have surrounded Jerusalem and Israel, and that's we read about it last night. Don't turn and get your coat, run to the highest mountain, because of the earthquake causes a tsunami that wipes out everything coastal, probably up to about 150 feet or even more. They say it's going to be the biggest earthquake ever, so I don't know what that means. But that's right out of our Bible here. We also see that we're still having a swarm here in Burma. It's just not as large of earthquakes. This is the main caldera. most dangerous caldera we have here, right here in China, and it's called the, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, Xinjiang. If you want to go for it, please do. These are Himalayan mountains, and they've caught all the magma and pushed it into Afghanistan and created this entire peninsula here, which is Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia. And since it's grown over, you can see that the last one only went this far. And that's where China made its hard boundary, right where the magma went last time. These dotted lines are all the provinces in China. All right, zoom out just a hair bit. How's everybody? Dr. Joey in the house. How's everybody doing tonight? Good to see you guys. All right, I was telling everyone, I let everyone the gates of hell out. All 390 people over 5 years that I've collected for rude comments, or I decided that everybody needs a second chance. So if y'all see anyone acting crazy, get them, Dr. Joey. The Philippines. Well, let's do a little report for you then. What you've got going on is 2 volcanoes. I'm sure you know it better than we do. In minor eruption, it's going to be Mayon and Taal. Taal's been very active. We have an awakening volcano here. Get rid of that. Awakening volcano, Bolsan. And we do have quite a bit of small earthquakes. Really on either side of this plate boundary. This is the Pacific plate, and it should be they call it the Sunda plate, but it's not what I call it. We also have a Canlaon volcano in full eruption down here. And you know, the Philippines is a dangerous place. My friend went to work there. He's been to work in Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia. He's always stuck it out and done his job. Well, after the big eruption last year, about a year and a half ago in the Philippines, he got scared and left the Philippines. So it must be crazy over there. Remember, every dot you'll see on the seafloor here, it's not going to show up as a volcano, but it is a volcano. It's referred to as a seamound, but it's the same thing. That line comes from all the way from the Russian Peninsula, wrong button there, Russian Peninsula, right down to Kilauea and Mauna right there. And what is that? What is that? Oh, just my eyes are not working that well. I also want y'all to see what's happening around Japan. What a nightmare. They built a new nuclear power plant right there. And this is a volcanic ridge. 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 Japan itself is a volcano. These are all of the fissures on it, and these are awakening all over here. And you know, they never have recovered from Fukushima right here. They're still pouring radioactive water, and I don't think there's ever going to be a fix, into the Pacific, millions of gallons a day. They just pour it down there. They never recovered the rods, and they decided to go ahead and build 20 new nuclear power facilities. Now, to give you some idea, to build this Fukushima nuclear power facility, TEPCO spent $3 billion to build it. Last number I'd seen as far as the maintenance, as far as after it melted down, we're talking about $30 billion. So that was some time ago. There is no telling. They have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of huge tanks of radioactive waste, and they gave themselves their own permission with their own nuclear waste committee that they opened up to pour that water back into the Pacific, which is just terrible because all of our very best fish came from our cod, a lot of our Alaskan king crab came from all this area that's now being just inundated inundated with heavy nuclear waste. And again, they just built 22 more nuclear facilities there. They think that nuclear waste is clean waste. I'd rather them use coal. President Trump signed a bill to get coal going again. Have y'all ever heard of coal killing? I mean, people get stuck in coal mines, and there's methane down there, the bird test. But I mean, have y'all ever heard of coal killing millions of people? Not me. If y'all have, please let me know. I think coal is, it's a hydrocarbon. All these people that virtue signal with these electric cars must realize that over 87 to 88% of all electricity is still manufactured using hydrocarbons. It's natural gas, oil derivatives, the tires on your car are oil, every panel on your car is made of plastic, which is oil. So all the electricity you dump into your car is produced by coal or oil or natural gas or derivatives thereof. So there is no virtue signaling. All right, Zealandia rising. If y'all watch my stuff, this is the continent rising. You know, I would say that it would take 1,000 years for it to rise out, but we saw this plate boundary right here, entire plate boundary, come out of nowhere and form the entire plate boundary in about a year. So that made me rethink how quick things can happen here. So we're seeing a lot go down. This is going to be white. I'll turn some of this off so you can see. It's going to be White Island Volcano. And then we have Erebus down here. And we have White Island Volcano that's awakening here. Now this has all been taken out of view by Google and covered up, so we can't see what's happening here at Murtaugh Station. We do hear stories that Mount Erebus produces 6,000 ounces of gold a day. It shoots out of it all around it. I don't know if that's why they're down there, or if they're really down there exploring, or what they're doing. But this has all been covered up, so we're not seeing what it really looks like here, unfortunately. Could be all pyramids as far as we know. They even covered some of the water areas up. Now, regularly when they do that, it'll be like one of our. Well, I'll show you another area, okay, that they do that in. They do that right here in Louisiana because that's where all of our. See all this is covered up? That's because that's where all of our air defense systems are. And they don't want everyone to know exactly where they're located here so that they can be taken out. So they have a lot of stuff covered up here. What's the island? Garcia. Dr. Joey, help me a bit. Garcia, the little island in the Pacific. No, actually in the Indian Ocean. Why can't I remember the name? It's covered up as well. Diego Garcia. There you go. Thank you. What do you say, Frank? The house. Miss Cat. Miss Cat, try your other ID because I emptied every jail I could find. Every jail I could find. So we got all the old folks back. Everyone deserves a second chance. All right. I think that's going to cover this map. Look at it real quick. We covered all that. Covered the Aegean Sea. Got that little 2.6 in Poland. Not even worth discussing. That swarm still happening in Burma, which is really strange. Really, let's turn the volcanoes on and see if there's some active volcanoes there or what. Did I not hit the button right? Looks like there are lots of active volcanoes right there, as a matter of fact. So that could be volcanic activity. Look at the volcanoes that could activate around Indonesia and the Philippines and up to Taiwan. and up into where they're building all the nuclear power plants. You guys are smart, aren't they? All right, over to the USGS. You can see that swarm happening on Mount Spur, Mount Hayes area here. They've both erupted 3 times in 30 years. I'm looking for a 4th eruption pretty soon here. Mount Hayes is the one that they say that the aliens live in with U.S. troops. And they say that Pat Price was a remote viewer, the number 1 remote viewer. You can look it up on Wiki. Just type in Pat Price Wiki. It'll show you that he remote viewed Mount Hayes, turned into a supervisor, was poked at the Las Vegas airport with something the next day, died 48 hours later. He was in his young 30s. So don't be remote viewing for anybody. Lesson learned? All right, we're just going to really look at the U.S. here. It looks like Mount St. Helens. It is. Amboy, Washington, 11 kilometers. So it's within the caldera, but not very high in the caldera. That's Mount Rainier. It's Mount Adams. That's Mount Hood. Dr. Joey lives right there, right in between all the mess, right there. It's at a pretty good, it's 1,000 square miles, so you'll be all right, Dr. Joey. I've just seen pictures outside of his kitchen window, and he can see these mountains. I'm like, man, you are crazy. Crazy, man. So we do have a couple of earthquakes here very close to our Yellowstone caldera right here. And then it looks like they're allowing blasting. It is blasting. And we all know what they're really doing with that blasting because it's always strategic. We know that pressure's coming from the northwest, and they're worried about Yellowstone because, they had 2 quakes here. They're small, but they're still worried. So they relieve pressure with the blasting. This is called the Green River Caldera. This is where Evel Knievel jumped the canyon on his, he didn't really jump it, did he? He just kind of dove into it with a parachute and broke lots of bones, right? All right. We're going to take a quick look at Geyser's geothermal plant, guys. Whoa. This is called Cobb Mountain right here. I'm having a brain block there. What do I want to call it? White Island. Clear Lake. This is the Clear Lake Volcanic Range. I'm thinking about over here. The Clear Lake Volcanic Range, and this is Clear Lake. The city of Clear Lake is here. And this is the biggest geothermal plant left. The one in Iceland used to be bigger before it melted in the entire world. I'm going to take those off and that one off. And I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. What they do is they drill into Cobb Mountain, and they use the steam to turn turbines, and they have 19 turbines right now. They're spinning. It's owned by currently it's been sold. It's been sold like 20 or 30 times. Calpine currently owns it, and they have 2 rows of this now. These pictures, see, I can't use that one. Almany, they don't want you. They're all copyrighted. Almany. These pictures are worth gold. They don't want you to see. Look, these are all of them. I've never seen anything like this. They don't want you to see Geyser's geothermal plant, no matter what. But what it is now 2 rows. Let me see if I can find. God, that one's even copyrighted Getty Images. It's unbelievable. Alamy. I mean, you can't see. When it was first built, it was just four wells, and they turned the turbines drilling directly into Cobb Mountain. And I can't believe we can't find a decent picture. Right now, there's 2 rows of these, and there's 19 turbines running all the time. They say it's like having 19 dams on the Colorado River. I'd regularly show you a turbine, but it looks like they don't want us to see what's going on at the biggest geothermal plant in the world. Now, I would say that this is a lot of action. I've seen anywhere between 13 189 earthquakes on Cobb Mountain. Imagine you're working there, because they have hundreds of employees. And you know that every 10 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the day, every hour, depending on the day, you're going to get hit by an earthquake. Biggest one I've ever seen there is a 5.9, which is a pretty dang, it'll put you on the ground for sure. Pretty big earthquake. Yeah, you know what? They have, Dr. Joe, I have it pulled up here. I was going to show everybody. It's pulled up right in here, see? And I saw, looked like y'all had some mixed precipitation. And it looks like we're going to have another repeat of the tornadoes that we had this week, this coming week. I guess in about 3 or 4 days, is about 2 or 3 days, is about how long it's going to take to get to the Central Plains and meet that moisture coming off the Gulf. I hear that, Dr. Joey. And Dr. Joey's worried about the hail when he lives right between Rainier and St. Helens. Whoa, Dr. Joey. All right, so imagine if you worked there. I want y'all to all guess how many earthquakes popped off today. I'd like 2 numbers. How much you worked there for? I worked there for $450,000 a year. And I think that there was probably about, I don't know, 35. Did anyone take 35? Is that right? Susan, that's going to be a lot, but that's the whole Earth. We're just talking about right here, and this number is way low, probably 4 or 5 times that amount. The USGS covers very few areas, but this is going to be. Look at Dr. Joey killing me when I'm taking 35. Dr. Joey, and 450 grand. I'm going to need the money. And I want like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, right? I'm going to need 2 weeks just to recover from the shaking. I told you there was 89 one day. I would have hated to be at work that day. All right, let's see. 74. Boy, was I off. I think Darlene's going to win with 38. That shows you right there. There's a lot going on. 74 is definitely the high end of this deal. I think anyone that watches the show can, verify that. We can take that one off, make it 73. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. That's a lot of activity right there. Now, most of y'all don't know the Central Valley here is all below sea level. This area down here is negative 22 to 25 foot below sea level. Y'all almost saw the whole valley flood 2 summers ago. It flooded through this area here, which is through San Francisco, Oakland, into Sacramento, and went all the way down to Fresno. Everything was flooded, and somehow they got out of it. I thought that was going to be it for them, and it was going to all flood out because most of it's below sea level. Has anyone seen this? Look at this volcano just sitting here in the middle of nowhere. I won't say nowhere because that's Redding, a major town. Look at it just sitting there. I'd build my house right on the top. I bet it's not very expensive land. That's Lake Tahoe. Everyone tells you, oh, it's not a volcano. Oh, but it is a volcano. And this is what? Long Valley Caldera, Mammoth Mountain. All the skiing goes on one side. All the deadly methane and carbon monoxide goes on the other side. This is Walker Lane Lake. Walker Lane is supposed to take over the San Andreas or North American Pacific plate boundary here as the main plate boundary within 100 years. And the Sierra Nevada will be your new West Coast. And of course, there'll be peninsulas, islands, and this will be the coolest port if we don't blow ourselves up by then. Coolest port that I know of. They'll probably dredge it, and they'll have ports throughout this area here. And a lot of this is going to go underwater. All of LA should be underwater, which is down here. And if y'all look real close, this is the Mexican border right here. And everything north of it, that's San Diego, Lamppost District. This is all Tijuana. And I'm in the wrong spot. This is the damn Tijuana. That's LA. Huntington Beach is right here, the biggest port in the world. This is Tijuana. This is San Diego, Lamppost District here. This is the Salton Sea. And you can see this is one of the 4 areas that the plates do not connect in the Western Hemisphere. There's 400 places over in the Eastern Hemisphere that they don't connect, but there's only 4 places here in the West, and this is one of them right here. This is a saltwater lake with saltwater fish, so it's either connected to the Pacific, the Sea of, let's call this the Sea of America now, instead of the Sea of Cortez. They try to rename it the Bay of California or the Sea of California. I say we call it the Sea of America, because we know where the Gulf of America is now, huh? That pisses people off from Mexico so bad. I'm thinking, relax. Don't get your panties in a wad. All right. So far so good. These are all fracking earthquakes. Everything you see here, guys, is fracking. They're drilling heavy right here, drilling heavy right here. This is Oklahoma, drilling heavy, drilling even heavier down here. They've found that all this area through here where they already are drilled, and it's already under, this is our New Madrid that you see right here. It's the main part. That's New Madrid, Missouri is right here. But what they found here was that we have more rare earth than anyone in the world. Hey, Frank, love you, man. That's your first super chat ever on a live stream. I feel blessed. At my screen, I don't know if y'all can see that, but mine just popped up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. But they just found that this was all full of rare earth here. So I don't know what that means. All of Arkansas, all of this part of South Texas here, and well, it's already under a mineral lease, so I think it's covered by all the oil companies. But boy, is that huge for the oil companies. I don't know if they can surface mine that, or with their current leases, or how it's going to work. They might have to go back and pay the landowners some more money. Now, we had a quake right here today, just disappeared. They must have taken it off the map over in Georgia. I looked, it wasn't really near a hazard. It wasn't really near anything. It was right about here. And I did, in fact, do some investigation into it today. It's disappeared off the map. How convenient. I think that's going to be it, really. It just had that brand new quake right there. And that's going to be right where that plate boundary just formed. They don't even have it on this map. All right. Oh, well, it says right here that let's celebrate their first super chat ever on a live stream. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. But I'll celebrate it. I don't know how to. Let's see if this does anything. Nope. I guess they should add some sound to those things, I think. Might ruin the programming, but... Alright, this is what I wanted to show you guys here. This is our wildfire map here. And regularly we'd see the wildfires over here in Washington State and Oregon. And we do see them in the Central Valley of California here. But where do we see them? Well, we've never seen them before. Right where I told you they were going to be, in the Central Plains. If y'all remember, Miss Teresa told us that they didn't get any rain this year. And very little snow. Very little snow as well. Well, these are fire warnings in yellow. That's a step up above this red flag warning right here. I don't even remember there being fire warnings 3 years ago. These popped up last year, these yellow flags. There was always red flag warnings, which I thought was basically a fire warning. But now they've increased it and added this yellow, which is basically a fire warning. And they're pretty good at calling them. I'm going to show y'all that these are some intense fires that you can see from our GOES satellite. Got some decent sized fires out there. They've been pretty good at taking care of them over in this side. It's just not going to be as dense and as hard to get to as places in Washington State and places in Oregon. Some places are